This is your local home for Mike and Mike, the Sports Huddle, and all your favorite teams. Get it all right here.
Makes my day go great.
On the SEMO ESPN Sports Network. This is a proud presentation of Mississippi River Radio Sports, the sports authority.
And now, at last,
it's time for the Redhawks Coaches Show on the SEMO ESPN Radio Sports Network.
I have more to tell you.
The Southeast Coaches Show airs every Tuesday at noon on ESPN 92.9 FM and 1220 AM. Live from Wings, etc. in Cape and Jackson. This is your chance to delve deep into the Redhawks football season with head coach Tom Matukewicz.
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
let's go live to Wings, etc. Right here on SEMO ESPN.
Welcome in. It's another edition of the Redhawks Coaches Show. We are live at Wings, etc. in Cape Girardeau, where we invite you, if you'd like to stop by and join us for lunch. They have their award-winning wings, of course, voted best wings in Southeast Missouri by the People's Choice Award. That was voted on by the people of Southeast Missouri for the Southeast Missourian. And you can dine in, you can carry out, but we certainly hope that you would join us for lunch. They have a full menu aside from their award-winning wings, including their freshly made burgers. If you'd like wraps, they've got those, subs, quesadillas. If you'd like to go the salad route, they can help you out there. Smoked ribs. Their appetizer lineup includes their ultimate nachos and their deep-fried pickle spears, and they have all of their high-def televisions, which are all – you can't look in a certain direction and not see a high-def flat-screen TV. If you want to watch history – and that is either the Cleveland Indians win the World Series for the first time since 1948 or the Cubs win the World Series for the first time since 1908. You can do it right here at Wings. We've got Game 6 tonight, Blues hockey at 6 o'clock, so you could watch the Blues on one TV. You could watch the World Series on the other TV. We've got you covered. They've got the NFL Sunday Ticket. You want to watch some college football. It's all right here at Wings in both Cape and Jackson. We're in the Cape location. And a scheduling note, we'll be back in the Cape location again next week. And just momentarily, we're going to be talking with the Redhawks quarterback, Jesse Hosket. Coach Tuke will join us a little bit later on in the show. But one big announcement, I would think, for the homecoming game coming up against Jacksonville State on Saturday. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff. We have been told that courtesy of the game sponsor, Cape Air, they have lined up 2 A-10 Thunderbolt jets. They're going to be flying over Houck Stadium during the national anthem. So that's going to be 15 minutes prior to kickoff. So I know everybody loves to tailgate out in front of the stadium or to the side of the stadium. Get in the stadium for the anthem 15 minutes before kickoff. 2 Thunderbolt A-10 jets are going to be flying over during the national anthem. Let's talk football with the Redhawks quarterback, Jesse Hosket. Have you ever seen an A-10 Thunderbolt that you know of?
Not that I know of.
That's going to be fun. It kind of, I think, you see a lot of these big sporting events, Super Bowl, World Series, different things like that, outdoor events, maybe national championship football game, and they fly the jets over during the anthem. That ought to be pretty neat.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Get the juices going.
Now, you are from French Camp, Mississippi. And down in French Camp, you and I were talking a little bit earlier, population, what would you say the population of French Camp is?
It's around 200, so it's a small town.
Yeah, we looked it up on Wikipedia. They estimated that in 2015 there were about 174, so you're in the 200 range. Suffice to say, pretty small town. What was it like growing up in a town that small?
I mean, it was great. I mean, everybody knew about it, and it was like family. You knew everybody you spoke to. And
as far as the schooling around there, how many schools are in French Camp? And you went to French Camp High School, right?
Yes, sir. We got a private school, the high school, and we have an elementary school in French Camp that does public for the whole county.
The private school, French Camp Academy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then French Camp High School. What class were you guys in Mississippi at French Camp?
We were 1A.
1A. Now, did they consolidate? Did they bring any other schools in? Sometimes they'll consolidate maybe a couple of communities for one high school. It was strictly French Camp.
No, they consolidated the whole county. It was one high school called Choctaw County.
Yeah.
And then you had the private school, which was French Camp Academy.
So you were at French Camp Academy?
Yes, sir.
All right. And what was the enrollment? Do you remember when you were there for high school?
I'm not sure. We had some boarding students that stayed, so it was a little more than you think it'd be. Probably around 150 or so.
So what was the size of your senior class?
There's, I think, 34 of us.
34. That's a small senior class. So you're playing 1A football down in the state of Mississippi. What was high school football like down there?
It was an awesome atmosphere. We played public league, so we played. I mean, there's a lot of good athletes, but from small towns. So just guys doing what they love to do and what they always dreamed of doing. Now,
did you grow up either an Ole Miss or a Mississippi State fan? Or did you have an allegiance to one growing up, maybe rooting for the football team, basketball team?
Actually, through high school, I was pulling for state, so Mississippi State.
Mississippi State. Now, have you talked at all with Coach Ray for the basketball Redhawks? He coached down in Starkville at Mississippi State prior to coming here.
I haven't spoken with him.
I was going to say you guys might be able to share some Mississippi stories.
Probably so.
Now, tell us about your family because we get a lot. I mean, it's compared to the rest of the players on the team, we get more Jesse Hosket family emails than any other player on the team. How big's your family?
Well, I'm married to my wife, Carla. We got married in May, so we got our own little family going. But I have my mom, dad, Kim and Bruce, and I got an older sister and an older brother, Caden and Ben, and a younger sister.
And how about your extended family? Because I think we're getting emails from maybe grandparents and aunts or uncles.
Oh yeah, they're big football fans, so they always keep in touch. So I got a lot of aunts and uncles, and I got my grandmother. She loves keeping in touch.
I think we may have gotten an email from your grandmother during football games. Now, what is it? About 5 hours from French Camp to Cape? Is that close?
4.5.
4.5.
Yes, sir.
So how often are they able to come up for home games?
Oh, my parents, they've come to every game, I think, but I forget which one they missed. Maybe the Eastern Kentucky game. They were there. So
they're going to road games too.
Oh yeah,
that's
they
fantastic.
Make the trip.
So the first game was the University of Memphis. Had you ever played in a venue like that before? I know you played in the what was it, the Texas Bowl when you were in junior college. Had you ever played in a stadium as big as the Liberty Bowl?
Oh no, I haven't. Not that full. I played in a state championship game in a stadium in Jackson, but it wasn't full of people. So
now Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson State is there. What else is in Jackson, Mississippi? Is there another school?
There's a Mississippi College.
Okay, so at what stadium did you guys play in?
We played in the one that the Jackson State plays in.
So how was that experience?
It was fun. It was great. Just being feeling like you're a big time player, being in a stadium was a little different.
East Central Community College. What was it like playing JUCO ball there? Because they weren't a football powerhouse prior to you getting there, the Warriors, but you went 8-3, and it was the Heart of Texas Bowl that you played in and beat Kilgore College. What was that like?
It was great just to have a program change around like that. And I mean, it wasn't much different than my hometown. Small country town. People love football, and it was great support. And they're having another great year this year. They won the South. So.
They did?
Yes, sir.
All right. So do you know who their starting quarterback is now?
Don Marino.
Was he a guy that was there when you were there?
He was not. He transferred in after I came.
Well, you still got some buddies down there.
No doubt. A lot of great buddies down there.
Fantastic. So do you hear from them? Are they following what the Redhawks have been doing, what you've been doing?
Yes, sir. I hear from them occasionally. I do. Well,
being a guy who just transferred into this, I had to pull this picture up because it's a picture of you. It is the Choctaw Plain Dealer, so one of your local newspapers down there, and they've got you photographed with a tremendous mullet. Now, it's not just your run-of-the-mill mullet. That is a tremendous mullet. That's business in the front, party in the back. And Coach Took said that you arrived on campus and you were still sporting the mullet. How'd that go with the teammates?
Well, we don't call it the mullet no more. It's more like the bro flow. You take your hair and just coming back. So, yeah, but I had a lot of comments on the hair, and a lot of people were upset when I cut it off, but I kind of got tired of it.
So your wife, was she pro bro flow or anti bro flow?
She started the whole thing, but she said on her wedding day she wanted me to have it cut, so I had to cut it up.
So it was strictly for the wedding then. You got here on campus, still had it. By the time wedding day got here, it had to go.
Yeah, it had to look sharp and clean.
How was wedding day? How'd that go, and where'd you get married?
Oh, it was awesome. We got married in French Camp, Mississippi. It was a big open patio over by the observatory. We got married at this old barn, so it was really cool.
You got married at a barn? That's
outside
fantastic.
the barn. It was an outdoor wedding.
That's fantastic. Now they've got a bed and breakfast there in French Camp, right?
Yes, sir. They do.
Yeah, you take advantage. I mean, when people came for the wedding, there were plenty of accommodations. Were there plenty of hotels or family members there in French Camp to put everybody up?
Oh, I mean, really, the family, we all live there. So not many people coming in. We had a few friends coming in, but not very many. Everybody lived in the area.
So she's from your hometown too?
Yes, sir. The same town.
Fantastic. So what did you think when you got on the field, the biggest adjustment or the biggest difference between playing pretty good JUCO football and then moving up and playing Division I football, championship subdivision football? What was the thing that jumped out at you first and foremost?
Just learn new offense. Got a new coach, a little different philosophies. Just learn new terminology.
As far as the offense goes, Coach Tuke has been telling us the last couple of weeks that they, including the bye week, which was probably at a perfect time for you guys, that they kind of opened the playbook up a little bit, giving you a little bit more responsibility now in the offense.
Yeah, I check a little bit, just seeing what the defense doing helps us operate a little faster, a little more efficient, because I can get a better view than anybody just standing back in the backfield. So
a lot of people say, hey, the more that you're involved in something like this particular offense, which was different than what you ran in junior college, the more confidence you get as you move along. It looks like you can see every game. It looks like you're getting a lot more confident. I mean, this past week, 20 of 24, 230 yards, a touchdown. Are you about as confident in the offense now as you have been since you've been at Southeast?
No doubt. Every week we're getting better, and I think it's only going to continue to grow. Between the end of this season and the start of next year, it's only going to get better.
So with the Austin Peay game, what was the thought process going in? Because you guys, you'd only played 2 conference home games. You've been on the road a lot, had the bye week, so it's been a while since you played in front of the home crowd at Houck Stadium. What was the game plan going in against the Governors?
I mean, we were going to pound the football. We know we had a really physical offensive line that had a smaller D front, so we wanted to be able to control the front and just pound the football, and we did that.
Boy, it looks like, and I know he limped off a little early in the game, but it looked like Will Young in that game was about as healthy as he's been in a while. I know he's been sporting an ankle injury, but 154 yards. What's it like running behind a guy that runs that hard and tough?
Oh, it's great. When you have a guy that runs like that, you really get to set up some play action. That's the best friend of a quarterback's great run game. So.
Boy, you do a good job with the play action. And, in this game against Austin Peay, I really thought your offensive line did a great job of protecting you. How much more positive can you be as a quarterback when you're not feeling the heat all the time, when you're not forced to scramble out of the pocket, when you're not, forced to try to extend a play?
I mean, it makes things a lot easier when you can just stand back there and take your time. I mean, it's no pressure. It's nice.
Boy, what's it like to have a weapon like Tremaine McCullough? Because you're talking about a guy that's going to line up in the backfield. Last year, he was the second leading rusher in the league. I mean, he was exclusively a running back. Now he's kind of a hybrid. He'll work out in the slot. They'll spread him out at wide out. He'll stay in the backfield, a diversification type guy. And, I got to think it's got to be tough on the defense knowing where he's going to line up. But to have a guy like that is that versatile.
Oh, he's a great asset. He's a good weapon. He got some great feet, and he causes problems. So,
boy, it's amazing that he can be as good as he is at Division I football and be such a small guy. I mean, he's a little guy.
Yeah, he is. But
durable, man. I mean, he didn't miss any time with injury for the most part last year. He's been pretty healthy. I mean, I know he got dinged up maybe a little in the Memphis game or one of the early games. Maybe it was SIU. But for a guy to be that small, and he's put together. I mean, he's muscular. But to be that small and that durable, because now you're a big guy. Big guys, it seems like, can absorb a little more punishment than the little guys.
Yeah, he does a great job. He takes some licks. It's pretty impressive.
All right, tell us about your receiving core here because, a guy like Christian Wilkerson, he had his first 100-yard reception day against Tennessee Tech. The touchdown that you hit him on, I think it was a 67-yard touchdown pass. To me, that is as good a throw as I think I've seen you make in a game. Did that feel like one of your best throws of the year, the long touchdown to Christian Wilkerson?
Yeah, it was a good play just because we were able to extend the play, had a little pressure, and Christian was able to create something that really wasn't planned. So that's a good thing.
He's a freshman, and that's a tough transition at the Division I level. Boy, we see him getting better every time. What have you seen from him when you first got here with the mullet, and then moving on to where we are right now, and he's already got a 100-yard receiving game under his belt?
He's a big guy. You know, he's really powerful and physical, and that makes him a good receiver. He knows how to catch football and people on him.
All right, Adrian Davis is another guy. Do you prefer having the big targets like that? Because Christian's a big guy. C.J. Curry, 6'2", 200. Adrian Davis, 6'3". Does that help out a quarterback to have a wide receiver with a little more size?
Oh, no doubt. You can see them come across the field better, and they're bigger and better players. They have more range. You can throw it around them, and they can make plays happen.
Boy, here we are this deep into the season. You've already played 5 conference games, 8 games overall, and you have only thrown 2 interceptions. What has been the key for you to keep the turnovers to a minimum? Because 2 interceptions from a starting quarterback, that's the lowest total of any quarterback in the league. What's made you so successful at not turning the football over?
I mean, just trying to know what you're doing. You know where you're going with the ball before the ball snapped and making the right reads, and that just comes from preparing yourself mentally.
Is there ever that one thing in your head where you see a play, you know it's a risky throw, and something in your head says, nope, don't do it. Don't try to force it?
Yeah, there's times where, you know, like at the end of a play, maybe this play's broke down. You don't want to make nothing bad happen. That's one of my junior college. While I was there, he just taught me, you know, you don't have to go out and win the game. You just need to control the game.
Well, you've done a great job controlling the game, throwing for over 200 yards in 6 of the last 7 games. Now, you guys are going to be facing the number 1 defense in college football. Number 1, they're the number 1 total defense, number 1 in our league against the run, and they are tied for the OVC lead in intercepting passes. What have you seen from Jacksonville on film? What's the game plan going in on Saturday?
They're a great football team. They got a lot of athletes, and they got a big defensive front, and they're quick. And there's a really good team. I mean, we got to keep our same strategy. We got to be SEMO. Don't change anything, and come in with the mindset that we can win this game.
You know, does it give you guys some confidence here that already under Coach Tuke, the Redhawks at Houck Stadium have already beaten 3 nationally ranked teams, including Southeastern Louisiana a couple of years ago, and they were ranked 3rd in the nation. This team is ranked 2nd in the nation. But does that give you a little bit of confidence knowing, hey, you're playing for a coaching staff that has game planned wins over nationally ranked opponents in the past?
Oh, yeah, they do a great job of preparing us for these games. They know what they're doing, and it definitely builds confidence.
How about this offensive line? Because we've had a few of these guys on the show. Garrett Baker has been on here. Jake McCandless has been on here. How about the guys who are up front blocking for you?
Oh, they're great guys. I love being around them, and they work hard.
Wait, I didn't scan the roster, but any other Mississippi guys on the roster? Or are you it?
I know we got several defensive backs that are from Mississippi.
So, but quarterbacks don't you don't talk to the defensive backs, right?
Actually, I like to mess with them, hang out with them a little bit.
All right. What football team did you grow up rooting for? I mean, not college. Was there an NFL team? I mean, if you're a football guy, you probably had a little interest in the NFL.
I didn't watch a whole bunch of NFL growing up. I watched some. I really enjoyed it. I love watching Michael Vick play because he was just so explosive, and you just never knew what was going to happen.
Fantastic. What would it be like? You ever think what would it be like to just be able to run that fast just for one day, as fast as Michael Vick could when he was at Virginia Tech?
That'd be awesome. Create big plays with your feet. It'd be fun.
Is it an advantage because you are a tall guy, big guy, 6'4", over 220 pounds? Is that an advantage as a quarterback?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you do take hits, that you're able to take them without and stay healthy while you're taking them, and you have a little more height over the O-line. You see what's going on.
That's what I was going to say, because oftentimes, you've heard of guys who are really good quarterbacks. Maybe they're really smart at scheming, very accurate throwers, maybe have a good arm, but sometimes they get overlooked because they may not have the height. I mean, how much of an advantage is it to be 6'4" versus maybe 5'11"? I mean, is it a big thing when you're trying to look downfield and you got a bunch of guys maybe 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" out in front of you?
Well, I mean, that's what everybody says. I'm not really sure. I don't know. If I could be 6 foot for one game, I'd let you know. I'm not sure.
All right. Were you always one of the taller guys in your class growing up in French camp?
Yes, sir, I was.
So basketball, I mean, if you're one of the tallest guys, then basketball has got to be somewhere in your sports resume, right?
Yeah, I played some basketball growing up. I wasn't the greatest athlete, but, I enjoyed doing it.
So if you're one of the bigger guys, did they put you in the post?
Yes, sir. I played post, and I played a little. I shot a 3-ball a little bit, too.
I was going to say, now, most guys that like to bang in the post a little bit, they like to tell their teammates, hey, don't sleep on my 3-point game, right?
Yeah, I had a little bit every once in a while, occasionally.
All right. So, Red Hawk basketball is going to be here as early as next month. You're going to come out and watch some Red Hawk basketball?
No doubt. We'll be out there in support.
Fantastic. All right, homecoming. What do you think the atmosphere is going to be like? It's always the most attended game of the year. I mean, it should be a huge crowd coming up on Saturday. What are you expecting? What are you looking forward to?
I'm just looking forward to a big team coming in, a ranked opponent. I'm looking forward to playing with my teammates, and just it's exciting. The way that we're progressing every week is exciting, and I'm just looking forward to another big game.
Well, it should be fun. 1 o'clock. Have you ever played in a football stadium that's quite like Houck Stadium, how they have the fans that close at the back of the end zone with all the tents and all the fans right there? They got the grills going and everything.
Yeah, honestly, it reminds me of being back home in French camp. We got guys just hanging out in the end zone in lawn chairs, just right there on the field with you. So it's really cool having that kind of atmosphere, fans that close to the game.
So it's kind of like just being back home. Once you saw the end zone, you thought, wait a minute, I've seen this before.
Yeah. Except for all the red. I ain't used to all the red.
Yeah, what was French camp's colors?
We were blue and white.
Blue and white. What was your mascot?
Panthers.
The Panthers. So Panthers, Warriors, Redhawks.
Yes, sir.
All right, fantastic. All right, the married life, how's that treating you?
Oh, it's great. I got a great wife. She's an awesome woman.
Fantastic. And she lives here, and how many family members do you think are going to be in town for the big homecoming game?
As far as I know, I got my brother and his wife coming up, and my mom and dad are coming right now. So.
Fantastic. Should be fun. Can't wait. It'll be a 1 o'clock kickoff. I know you got to get going. You got a class to get to. We appreciate you squeezing us in. Best of luck on Saturday, Jesse.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that's Jesse Hosket, the Redhawks quarterback from French Camp, Mississippi. Let's take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have a chance to break down the big win over Austin Peay with Coach Tom Matukewicz and get you ready for the number 2 ranked Jacksonville State Gamecocks, who will be in here on Saturday. It's the Redhawks Coaches Show from Wings on SEMO ESPN.
About Wings, etc. See, Wings, etc. has those award-winning jumbo wings. They're popular for both dine-in and carry-out. Now, the word is getting out about Wings, etc.'s appetizer lineup. From the ultimate nachos to the deep-fried pickle spears, frankly, they're irresistible. Friends are sharing time together at Wings, etc. They've got dining rooms filled with HD TVs tuned to the best sports programming, including NFL Sunday Ticket. The people at the next table are talking about Wings, etc.'s daily half-pound lunch special, starting at just $6.49. Plus, Wings, etc. has food and drink specials throughout the week, including 59-cent wings every Monday. Plus, there's the kids menu, and Wings, etc. is family-friendly with video games in the dining room. And the whole community is excited about how Wings, etc. is locally owned and operated, and they're proud to support local athletes, their families, schools, and teams. I guess Wings, etc. is a really big deal around here.
It's time to break out the old Christmas tree. If that doesn't ring in much good cheer, head to the Home Depot and save 20% on a brand new artificial LED Christmas tree. Stunning trees, dazzling with the latest LED lights to suit your holiday style. Whether it's warm white, multicolored, color changing, or blinking, let the good cheer flow. 20% off LED Christmas trees, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid through November 9th. Exclusions apply on HomeDepot.com. Limit 3 per customer.
The easiest decision you'll make all week is to shop Kohl's this weekend, because Kohl's will give you tax break savings with an extra 10% off and an extra $10 off your purchase of $25 or more. Everyone gets Kohl's cash too. Plus, shop late Friday or early Saturday and take an extra 15% off jeans for the family, already on sale. Stack the savings and save even more this weekend. at Kohl's. Select styles offer valid 11/4 through 11/6. Some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
And now, your ESPN Radio Network local weather forecast.
The National Weather Service says sunny, 83 today, 59 tonight under clear skies, 81 sunny tomorrow, 40% chance of showers after midnight Wednesday night into early Thursday with a high at 71. Right now, Friday, sunny, 66. Homecoming Saturday, sunshine and 70. And Sunday, perfect, sunshine and 71 degrees.
You're up to date with the latest weather forecast right here on the ESPN Radio Network.
This is Mike Greenberg for the best in local sports talk and play-by-play. It's SEMO ESPN.
Redhawks Coaches Show, live from Wings, etc. Good food, great time at Wings, etc. And if you're coming out for lunch, might we suggest their daily half-pound lunch specials? They start at just $6.49. And don't forget the high-definition flat-screen televisions. We've got World Series Game 6 tonight. We've got Blues hockey tonight. If you want to watch it here and have a great time at Wings, you're invited, either the Cape or the Jackson location. We are in Cape today. Don't forget about their food and drink specials throughout the week. And on Mondays, they've got their 59-cent wing specials and a kids-friendly menu. Mike Rennick, lead singer of the Mike Rennick Band, is here. His son Isaac is here. And first thing Mike said when he sat down, "Can I see the kids' menu?" And so Isaac is enjoying a nice selection off the kids' menu. So parents, you can bring the kids. They are open 7 days a week and late on the weekends because the games oftentimes run late. Let's welcome back in the Redhawks football coach, Tom Matukewicz. Good to talk to Jesse Hosket. We had to. I couldn't Google a picture of that mullet and not bring that up in conversation.
Yeah, he definitely had the long hair, but Jesse's just a really unique kid. You don't have a lot of those guys, and he's so mature for his age, and he's different than a lot of our guys in the fact that he'd rather be in a tree stand hunting deer than playing video games and all that stuff. He's definitely an old soul that way, but it shows his decision making and how he handles his life. He's just a really mature kid.
Somebody who is mature, and as we mentioned, he was married in May. Do you see guys like that as more responsible athletes?
Yes. I'll tell you a story about this. He'll probably kill me, and I know his wife will, but that's all right, right? You want some entertaining radio, right?
We want entertainment.
So I'm recruiting him, and he commits, and he said, "Coach, I need to talk to you about something." And I said, "Okay, what's up, Jesse?" He said, "Coach, I want to get married." And I was like, "What the? Why do you want to get married? You can't wait?" I said, "You only got 2 more years of college. Can't you just wait?" And he said, "Coach, I've been waiting to have sex my whole life." You talk about dropping the mic. I said, "Buddy, let me know when the wedding is."
That is fantastic stuff. Yeah, you're going to be on the list here after that one. That's fantastic stuff, though.
Yeah, it really is, and just tells you his core values and what they believe in as a family. And obviously, you don't come out that way; you're raised a certain way, and so just very appreciative of him. He actually played for a good friend of mine in junior college, and that's basically why he's here, because he's really close with Ken Karcher. His head junior college coach was a quarterback for the Chiefs. Really, he used to be the head coach at Liberty, and he offered me a job back in the day. But anyway, we've been close, and he's the one that called me on Jesse.
Boy, how much of recruiting is knowing guys and networking? I mean, if you had to put a percent on that, what is it as far as the recruiting lifeblood?
Oh man, it's at least half. I mean, we have a recruiting model, and we have standards and we have what we look for. But at the end of the day, there's no validation better than someone personally signing off on somebody that has worked with the kid, knows what the kid is day to day, and if a coach calls me and he puts his name on a kid, I'm going to listen because they are the ones that are there day in and day out with that kid. You watch a highlight film, anybody can look good in 3 minutes.
We talked about the mullet, or as he calls it, the bro flow. The hair. It looks like somebody got a hold of you this past week.
Yeah. Oh, no, at 11:30.
Okay.
So I've been hanging
on
this
past day.
Yeah. I've been getting the hints from my wife about it, but got her in today. Really looking forward to get out on the practice field.
Looking good. You look more aerodynamic for practice today.
Yeah, well, there's not much to work with there, but good thing about being a coach, you can always just throw on a hat.
All right, how did it feel to come out and take care of business like you did against Austin Peay on Saturday? 41-21. You had highlights on defense. You had highlights on offense. You had a big highlight on special teams with a kickoff return from Cam Sanders for a touchdown. How did that feel to put that performance together in front of the home crowd Saturday?
It was awesome. It was a great response by our football team, and I love how everything just happened. You don't want the big plays that Austin Peay was able to have, but I love the fact that, a lot of teams, when that happens, now all of a sudden they get back to 10 or a 2-score game, the sideline or the fans start, oh, here we go. They're going to get back in this thing. All these negative thoughts go through you, but really our coaches and sideline, that never happened. We just was ready for the next play, ready to put some good film out there, and it was just a great response. And how we we won the turnover margin, no stupid penalties, all the things that you want a good football team to do, they did.
Well, you've got a field goal from Ryan McCrum on your opening drive. You go 10 plays, 59 yards. Of course, you would love to punch it into the end zone. Everybody would every time down the field. And then you do get your first touchdown right before the end of the first quarter. Jesse Hosket hits Chase Abington, 14-yard touchdown pass. Chase Abington, is he a guy that can be a weapon? Does he have the ball skills to be a guy that can help you in the passing game?
Yeah, I mean, he's done a really good job. He's got great ball skills, very athletic, really good on third down, and so that was good to get him in the end zone. But he's been a major factor in special teams. He's been on kickoff coverage. He was a lead blocker for Cam on that kickoff return. So a lot of those things that no one sees, he's really done a good job. But unfortunately, he got a concussion. And so he still had symptoms today. So, it looks like he's out for Saturday.
Well, you've got Cam Sanders back there. Might we see someone else?
Eric Moore is the guy that's also back there with him. So that's generally who we'll use. Cam's the guy because he's got a jet engine and he's not a peanut. He'll be able to break those arm tackles. We just got to get him catching the ball cleaner, and working on his skill set. 3 or 4 yards in, he could have took it out early, but it caught it from the side, and so then we killed it in the end zone. So little things like that, we got to get him to take the next step.
As far as in the backfield running the football, if you're not going to have Abington, it's going to be Will Young and Cam Sanders, and might we see somebody else back there?
Well, Tremaine's been a big deal back there.
So we see a little bit more Tremaine then.
And then, so I think it's just kind of a committee deal, but those are two guys we want carrying the ball the most, and then Cam and obviously with help me out there.
Will Young.
Will Young and those guys making the plays. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. You want the big back to kind of loosen them up, but then Tremaine's really nice back there to be able to make the big dynamic plays.
And then, you see Will Young go off for 154 yards and a touchdown, including his 59-yard run. You've been waiting for that ankle to get better. Early on, he has a nice run, and then he comes limping off to the sideline, and you're probably thinking, oh, man, I wonder what his availability is going to be for this was the first quarter.
Yeah.
What's his availability going to do? And he goes on to post a career game on the ground, and the 59-yard run came after he tweaked the ankle.
Yeah. Hats off to our trainers and Ben Fox and Doc Bowen, all those guys that get him, healed back up on a sideline, got him retaped and got him out there. And he's tough. He's tough mentally also, so that was great to see.
All right. What'd you think of the way your offensive line played? Because, boy, it looked like Jesse had as much time in this game as he's had in any game, sacked only one time. but sack numbers aren't always the numbers. I mean, if he's always running to the sideline,
exactly.
if he's always scrambling, if it's always, as you like to term it, a Chinese fire drill back there, then he's not getting protection. He's not getting comfortable. 20 for 24 in the passing game says he was comfortable.
Oh, I don't think there's any question that the game was won up front. I think our offensive line did a great job opening up some holes. You look at Will Young's touchdown run, didn't even get touched. And so the protection that they gave Jesse all game. And so those guys should be some of our best players because they play a lot of football, got a lot of guys back, and they're doing a really nice job.
Tremaine McCullough had not rushed for a touchdown this year. His lone touchdown, a receiving touchdown against Murray State, 2 rushing touchdowns in this game. He's starting to get some more touches in the backfield.
Yeah, exactly. I think it just everything's new, new system, new quarterback, our plan to win, and we're just trying to put all the pieces together. And Tremaine has had some yardage and stuff, but his impact in the game wasn't felt enough. And so that's why his touches in the backfield's increased. And it's proven to have a very effective the last 2 games. I think since the offseason we studied it and really figured, Coach Weimers did a good job of pointing that out and us getting that done.
515 yards of offense. When you watch film, what did you see?
Well, the yards we've had, but it was the points, right? I knew it was going to be a good day. The scoring was going to be up when I scored at home. You know what I'm saying? That morning. So I knew it was going to be a good day, but 41 points is exactly what you want.
Well, as far as Austin Peay goes, a couple of their playmakers, Kentel Williams, Javon Craig, that freshman quarterback that had the long touchdown run, they've got some good young players. Both those guys are freshmen.
That's what worries me because they've been able to recruit. They got a $16 million stadium they're recruiting on. And, at the end of the day, these kids want to see these facilities, and they're going to be hard. Even though the record's terrible, they're hard to recruit against because they got better facilities.
And as far as what you expected to see from Austin Peay, did you see kind of what you thought you were going to see coming in? I don't know if you knew you would see as much of their freshman quarterback as you saw.
I think they kind of just knew he's the future, so let's just get him the experience. And the disappointing thing is we let 2 balls in the back end go, and we didn't get it tackled. Obviously, you can't misfit and let the ball rip like that, but you also got to be able to get it down.
Boy, I would say I was, I didn't see his 40-yard dash time. Their quarterback, Craig, I was impressed, man. Nobody chased him down. I mean, that wasn't a fluke. He's got some speed.
Yeah, and he's a big kid, so he's a threat. And they, with their option offense, it's a major factor.
So as far as the kicking game for you, you had to feel pretty good about what your punter did. Alex Knight averaged 47 yards per punt, dropped 1 inside the 20 at a 52-yard punt. As far as Ryan McCrum, he ends up kicking 3 field goals, still perfect as far as extra points. And you and I were talking before the football game on Saturday when we were recording our pregame interview. You were saying Cam Sanders, your boy, he's close to taking one back. I want to see him break one like he did against Jacksonville State, and I'll be darned if he didn't break one.
Yeah, absolutely. That we've been close and really felt like if we got the opportunity, we could take one, and that's a big deal. Here since I've been here, we've really tried to stress special teams and being able to take over a game and the kicking game, and that was a critical time. It was back to 2 score, I believe, at that time, and then we kind of broke their back with that long run. 7 tackles for your defense behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah, did a great job doing a lot of TFLs, and Coach Sy had the defense locked in, and a lot of 3-and-outs in the first half. And then we had some guys there and missed some tackles and those things. But we're going to find out if we can stop the run. That's something we've built the program on, is running the football, stopping the run. And man, you talk about having a challenge this week.
This is not your normal FCS football team. They have a lot of Division I transfers, not just FBS transfers from the best conference in America, the Southeastern Conference. This is a Jacksonville State team that against FBS schools has won 28 consecutive games against FBS schools, 21 straight conference games. Their last conference loss, 2013. That's the longest conference winning streak in the nation at FBS, at FCS, at any level. That's the longest streak in the nation. That means right now they're the class of this league.
Yeah, they are. They're really talented, and the way they go about their business, they really bully people. And so, my message to the team, I'm going to walk in the door, and I'm going to tell them, this is what we're going to do. We're going to pick a fight. You walk up to the biggest, baddest dude on the street, you don't talk about it. You try to get on his ass before he can even respond. And that's what we got to do this weekend.
This is a team, I got to believe, with the way that you like to play football, your mentality. You love the way Jacksonville State plays football.
Yeah, I can't tell you how much respect I have. I want that. I want to be able to do that. We've built that. We're bigger than they've ever been here, and just being able to hold up to the pounding that they're going to try and do. It's just whether or not who's going to be the most physical team when this thing's going. And I'm telling you right now, we're not going to back down if it's in stretch or anywhere. We're coming to get it on. At the end of the day, whether you win or lose, they walk off that field, they're going to respect the Redhawks.
Not only are they the top rushing offense in the league, Coach, they're the top rushing offense in the league by 90 yards per game. That's Secretariat at the Belmont. I mean, their running backs, first of all, they have the league's leading rusher. That's the quarterback, two-time All-American Eli Jenkins. Their running backs, Josh Clemens, 4-star recruit from the University of Kentucky, granted an extremely rare 6th year of eligibility. Not only did he miss a year with a knee, he missed the year with an Achilles tendon. The NCAA rarely has compassion on these young athletes, I think is the general consensus among a lot of people. They gave this kid a 6th year of eligibility. When he went down as a freshman, he was Kentucky's leading rusher, had 2 game-winning touchdowns as a freshman before he got hurt. This guy's the real deal, 5'10", 220, and an SEC back.
Yeah, well, I wasn't on the committee, gave him another year. I can tell you that. As good as it gets, and they got a great offensive line. The number 6, his backup, has a jet engine coming out of his butt. I mean, they're really, really good. And so that's going to make it that much more exciting.
So you look at Clemens, he's the bruiser at 220 pounds. As a freshman before the knee injury, clocked at 4.5 in the 40-yard dash. So that's the 220-pound back. The guy that's backing him up, 5-star recruit that transferred from Auburn, Gatorade Player of the Year and Mr. Football in the state of Alabama, ranked the 12th best running back in the nation coming out of high school, and he's the backup running back.
Yeah, he actually played for Coach Gross in high school. It's kind of crazy, but, really good players, and you can go through their whole roster and see all that. We have 105 football players, and so do they, and if it was, 105 versus 105, we're going to lose. But it's not. Our 22 ain't that bad either. So come on.
And as far as their coach, you mentioned John Gross, 3rd year, I think it's an amazing story because he never coached college football ever prior to coming to Jacksonville State. He was 23 years as a high school coach. That's both head coach and assistant. Never won a state championship as a high school football coach, but ran a lot of pro style or elements in what he did as a high school coach. And they brought him on as the offensive coordinator at Jacksonville State in 2013 when they had a record-setting year with the offense. And when they moved away from Jack Crow, they gave him the job. You're talking about a high school guy who had been an assistant 1 year in college, and here he is as a coach, 30-5, 48 years old, and took him to the national championship game last year. That's a pretty amazing story.
Yeah, it really is, and hats off to him. And it's a lesson for everybody and all the kids. You only get so many opportunities in your life. That opportunity opened. He prepared for that opportunity, spent a life preparing for that opportunity, and when he got it, he killed it. And look at him now. Good for him.
And they are directed, that offense, by their quarterback, two-time All-American. His name is Eli Jenkins. He leads the country in rushing yards for quarterbacks, number 1 in FCS. He is second all-time in passing yards and fourth all-time in rushing touchdowns at Jacksonville State. But the big thing is, in the history of FCS football, everyone who's ever played FCS football, he's the 10th leading rushing quarterback all time. This guy was probably the best running back in the league, yet he plays quarterback.
Yeah, he is as good an athlete as there is. I mean, he has made a lot of people look silly. He just takes off and no one can tackle him. So, he's going to get his yards versus us. We need to find out how tough he is. We need to get a lot of people to the football and tackle him and do a really good job of being really, really physical.
I will say they're not very deep at the quarterback position. Their backup quarterback played linebacker for them last year.
Exactly. Let's find out how well he could throw it.
Eli Jenkins is a guy who is completing his passes at only 53%. As far as passing offense, and I understand they don't have to pass a lot because of how dominant they are running the ball, but they're last in the league in passing offense. He's only thrown 3 interceptions, but completing his passes at 53%. Obviously, he can pass the ball, 8 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, and he has a ton of passing yards, over 7,000. He's closing in on the school record, so he can throw the football. But they want to run the football first, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If they don't need to throw it, they won't. They'll run it down, then they'll run the number 1 defense in the country out and stop you. And so that's the point to the team is we got to make them have a problem. They got to have a problem. And if we can get them to have a problem, then maybe they don't respond well. And so whether that's stopping the run or us on offense running the football, we got to find a way to give this team a problem and see if we can't have them have a poor response to it.
The thing is, you talked about one of the big keys for your team on Saturday was what you did up front. Their 5 offensive linemen, in terms of career starts, the most rookie of the 5, 32 starts. I mean, they've got 32, 35, 35, 35, and 55 games Division I at offensive line. I mean, that's a very veteran group.
Yeah, they do a really good job. You don't see missed assignments.
Well, they've got one of the top receivers in the league. Last year, the best receivers in the league were Paul McRoberts and Josh Barge. Well, Paul graduated. Josh Barge didn't. He's still there. They don't throw it a lot. He caught his first touchdown of the year last year, but he's tremendous. He's returned a punt for a touchdown this year.
Yeah.
And then their other 2 wide receivers, one transferred from Wisconsin, 3-star. And the other guy transferred from South Carolina, where he had an ACL at South Carolina, recruited by Steve Spurrier, and he's a 4-star guy. I mean, that's a lot of talent at wide receiver on top of everything else we talked about.
Yeah, hopefully they're pissed they ain't throwing it. They're pissed off, and they don't want to block for them anymore.
All right, defensively, what makes them the best defense in college football? Obviously, they've got the preseason Defensive Player of the Year, defensive end Darius Jackson.
Yeah.
Only a junior, yet already holds their school sacks record with 17.
Yeah, he's played a lot of football, and I think you hit it on the head. I think they're good because of their up front. Their offensive, defensive lines are as good as there is in the Gateway or the Valley, the Ohio Valley. And so we got to do a good job of handling that end of it. But really, if you look at their takeaways, is what makes them scary on defense. I mean, they've created a lot of turnovers. They've scored on defense. They had 3 pick-6s against Eastern Kentucky, and so we're probably that's the thing. Like, we haven't turned it over, and we can't because we turn it over. It's going to be a long night.
11 interceptions by the Jacksonville State defense, and 3 of them went back for touchdowns in that same game, as you mentioned, against Eastern Kentucky. Did you see something in that film, Coach? Because they did not score an offensive touchdown against Colonels.
Well, they moved the ball, but they played great situation defense. They missed some field goals, so they got them in the red zone and ended up getting a stop, and then they missed the field goals, which, that's kind of our key. You limit the run game because you ain't stopping it. You got to limit the run game and play great on third down and red zone. You make them kick field goals all day, you're going to be in the game, and they're 4 of 8, I think, for field goals in the conference, and so. That's our plan.
I think one other thing is interesting. You mentioned they're number 1 in turnover margin. They're a plus 11. That is 7th best in the nation. But on offense, they're the only team in the league that has no red zone turnovers.
Yeah.
That's a successful formula.
Yeah, exactly right. The roster's good, so they call a play, hand it off, and get up and do it again, and get up and do it again, and that's why they're so good. That's why they're the number 2 team in the country.
All right, as far as getting to the quarterback, they're 2nd in the league in sacks, 28 sacks so far this year. So constantly applying pressure to the opposing team's quarterback, or 1st in the league in sacks, with 28. How much of a help is that for a defensive backfield? Like you mentioned, they had the 3 pick sixes. How much of that is predicated on the quarterback is in trouble because of the heat? Makes a bad
it's everything. And you got to be who you are. Like, we drop back there and we think we're Joe Montana and we're going to throw 50 times this game. They'll beat us to a pulp. We got to max protect. We don't need to put a bunch of guys out in the routes. We need to, give Jesse a decent pocket because he can hit the hands. And that's also why we got big receivers. I like big receivers because of the turnover thing, and you could body those DBs out of it and stuff because they're going to be covered. It's covered everybody else. So we got to fit the ball in there, and our size at receiver got to, make those plays.
Time of possession isn't everything in football, but it can serve a really big purpose. You lead the league in time of possession. They're number 3. But in terms of having the football a long time against Jacksonville, it's hard because they're number 1 in the nation in third down defense, which means there are a lot of 3-and-outs against Jacksonville State. How big is this particular game against this particular opponent going to be with time of possession?
Oh, it's everything. If we can shorten the game, get it to 1 possession game in the 4th quarter, well, you got just get a shot at MB. But if they got the ball and we don't, boy, it's going to be a long night, I think, or day. The third down it goes back to running the ball, so we're not in 3rd and 11. If we're in 3rd and 11, it won't matter. But if we can get some 3rd and 4s in there and execute those type of third down situations, keep the drive alive, and then you never know. We got good players too, and we can, we need to have some explosives though. We're not just going to run up and down methodically. We got to create some big plays.
Is this one of those games where you might go a little deeper into your playbook against a team like this?
I think that the most important thing is we don't try to do something that we haven't done.
Gotcha.
You're trying to beat somebody that physically might be a hair better. Well, you can't do it by doing something you've never done before, right? We need to do what we've done, and if our best isn't good enough, it isn't good enough. But I know that if we try to do something we've never done before, we'll get freaking bloodied up and spit out.
Homecoming 2016. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff at Jacksonville State. We'll take one final timeout. Back to wrap it up with Coach Tuke. We are at Wings, etc. in Cape Girardeau. Redhawks Coaches Show on SEMO ESPN.
Wings, etc. See, Wings, etc. has those award-winning jumbo wings. They're popular for both dine-in and carry-out. Now, the word is getting out about Wings, etc.'s appetizer lineup. From the ultimate nachos to the deep-fried pickle spears, frankly, they're irresistible. Friends are sharing time together at Wings, etc. They've got dining rooms filled with HD TVs tuned to the best sports programming, including NFL Sunday Ticket. The people